to eternity. Good day to you, one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. Earlier this week, the preeminent bassist and Latin percussionist from The Darkness, Frankie Poulin, sent me a JPEG, which is of an open letter that was drafted on the 21st of October 1996 to all those at MTV from Nick Cave in response to having been nominated for some awards at their then forthcoming ceremony. I'm going to read it to you because it's really inspiring, totally and utterly admirable, with some interesting points raised about the nature of art and indeed especially music. Justin Hawkins rides again, again, again. Right, allow me. To all those at MTV, I would like to start by thanking you all for the support you have given me over recent years, and I am both grateful and flattered by the nominations that I have received for Best Male Artist. So he received more than one nomination. I suppose he was presumably nominated and then seconded for it to be shortlisted. I'm not sure how the process goes. Anyway, I'll continue. The airplay given to both Kylie Minogue and PJ Harvey duets from the latest album, Murder Ballads, has not gone unnoticed and has been greatly appreciated. So again, my sincere thanks. It's a lovely opening paragraph, isn't it? Because I think he's definitely trying to shine some light on the careers of these other artists that he's collaborated with. Then he goes on to say, having said that, I feel that it's necessary for me to request that my nomination for Best Male Artist be withdrawn. And furthermore, any awards or nominations for such awards that may arise in later years be presented to those who feel more comfortable with the competitive nature of these award ceremonies. I myself do not, he states, although, I don't know, this letter is just like he's basically won the MTV Awards by writing this. I have always been of the opinion that my music is unique and individual and exists beyond the realms inhabited by those who would reduce things to mere measuring. I am in competition with no one. My relationship with my muse is a delicate one at the best of times, and I feel that it is my duty to protect her from influences that may offend her fragile nature. She comes to me with the gift of song, and in return I treat her with the respect I feel she deserves. In this case, this means not subjecting her to the indignities of judgment and competition. My muse is not a horse, and I am in no horse race, and if indeed she was, still I would not harness her to this tumbril, this bloody cart of severed heads and glittering prizes. My muse may spook, may bolt, may abandon me completely. So once again, to the people at MTV, I appreciate the zeal and energy that was put behind my last record. I truly do. And I say thank you. And again, I say thank you, but no thank you. Yours sincerely, Nick Cave. I mean, that's a brilliant letter. I think politically it would be very difficult to get this over the line if you're asking for your record company's approval to refuse such a nomination. I mean, you see him on television, don't you? He does things like Jules Holland or whatever. He's been in movies. He's playing the game to a certain extent, but this one, that's a winner. I would like to write an open letter to MTV. To all those at MTV, I'd like to start by thanking you for all the support you used to give The Darkness over the early part of the 2000s. And I am both grateful and flattered by the nominations that I've received for, I think it was Best Video in 2006 and something about like Best New Band in 2003. Having said that, I feel it's necessary for me to request that any nomination for Best Male Artist that has been subsequently refused by Nick Cave, perhaps you would consider forwarding those to me so that I can have them in my house. Because it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? It's only awards. It's just celebrating music, isn't it? I don't think it's as simple as a competition. I think it's like, especially when, for example, we won 3 Brits in 2004, and I feel like had Dido deigned to attend the ceremony, we probably wouldn't have won all of those. We probably would have won 2 of them. So I think it's partly, I mean, certainly in the case of an MTV Awards ceremony, it's a show, first and foremost. It's an opportunity to sing your song to loads of people. If you get to say a speech that thanks the guys that have worked hard behind the scenes, tirelessly, to get you into that position, it's this lovely moment for them. I mean, it is meaningless in the sense that you can't actually put songs and artists up against one another in that way. But, you know, it's just a lovely night out. Usually it's catered, you know, so you can enjoy some foods. But I think it's interesting what he says about his muse. I mean, first of all, he refers to his muse as a fickle mistress that will visit him whenever she feels like it, really, and then disappears when the going gets bloody. When he says in this letter that if the muse was indeed a horse, he wouldn't harness her to this tumbrel, a bloody cart of severed heads. That's interesting, because I think a tumbrel is it's a cart that used to be used to carry, like if you were sentenced to death during the French Revolution, then you'd be... Oh, I suppose they carried the bodies that had been guillotined to wherever their final resting place would be. So presumably it would be severed heads, but I think the bodies would be in there as well. Most of the cart would be used up with the bodies. Do you know what I mean by that? And the heads would also be in there. His muse may spook, may bolt, may abandon me completely. Yeah, I suppose that's true. So, by way of a celebration, let's remind ourselves how brilliant Nick Cave is. I urge you all to watch the movie Wings of Desire. It's that one about, I don't know, angels, I suppose, in Berlin, maybe? I'm not sure. Somewhere in Germany, probably. And there's a scene in there when Nick Cave is performing, I think, from to eternity. And there's another song he does as well. I think there's a bit when he's saying something about ravens falling blackly down. He's wearing a red shirt. He's got a black waistcoat on the top of it. It's absolutely brilliant. More intensity than the rest of the 80s put together. I only say that with a small amount of exaggeration. Nick Cave is brilliant, and that's an admirable letter. But let's face it, it's only a bit of fun, isn't it? Lighten up, Nick. You never know, it might never happen. Justin Hawkins rides again. The tumbrel also could just be like an open-backed cart that you might put military supplies in, ammunition, guns, that sort of thing. Although if it's guns, you'd hope they'd cover it up, really. And actually, you'd hope they'd cover it up if it was severed heads, wouldn't you? Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and watch one of these 2 videos. And remember, it's not a competition.